Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Welcome, welcome. We are going to do a Divine Masculine reading today. So I'm very curious how this reading is going to unfurl because all the planets have left retrograde and will be out of retrograde until May 4th. That means we have a bit of a runway to kind of regroup, reground, and actually get some stuff done. So let's dive in. I already pulled some cards here. We have commitment in reverse, masculines. We have talent in reverse, reconciliation, trust in reverse, animals, financial health, and lightening your load. Okay, Spirit, thank you for being with us. Hover over us. Let grace run through us. With you, all things are possible. Sorry, I'm just grounding a little bit. I suggest you do the same. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's an accident. Reconciliation is the core topic at the core of our message here. And yet there's something blocking this feeling of security, trusting in commitment, trusting in your gifts, masculines. There's something rattling your cage right now. And I have a feeling it is regarding this financial health, wealth, this long-term thinking, masculines, you have continually carried the weight of the world on your shoulders and quite literally the external, the 3D weight, right? Getting things done, building infrastructure that will support this long-term vision. Okay, we're taking a sharp turn right away. So masculines, the thing that will help you trust and heal that kind of inner intuition or your relationship with your intuition is learning to tap into your animal body. And, I think when people hear animal body, they immediately think like sensual or sexual kind of animalistic impulses. Sure, that might be a very small fraction of it, but really what's being asked of you now, masculines, is to lean into your sensory system, your animal nervous system, who is so hyper vigilant and so hyper aware. They know when to worry and when to hunt and when to, hibernate. There's something here. I'm just also looking. I've never really looked at this card because I have so many animal cards in all my decks, and it's funny, the meanings that come out of me are so different. So I've never really looked at this card. So let's look at it. So we have what looks like a cat, we have an owl, we have a wolf, and we have the dove. All right, so owl is wisdom. Wolf is this sort of deep companion. The cat is, that tenacious curiosity. And then we have the dove, which I think for most of us is a symbol of purity, of love, of light. And notice that all of these animals and this, what appears to be a woman, they're standing in front of this bright full moon, this very bright full moon, which is illuminating the darkness. So there's something being illuminated for you, masculines, or will be illuminated for you as you step deeper into this kind of this trust over your animal instinctual body. It's like your instincts are being repaired. And maybe because of trauma, past relationships, childhood wounding, parental wounding, maybe for whatever reason, your ability to trust in your instincts has been broken in some capacity. Maybe as a young child, somebody told you that you're not worthy, you'll never amount to anything, or any other equally as ridiculous, dark energy over your life. And the problem is that at some point you believed it to be true. You inherited that limiting belief and it's been running the show a little bit. So although this is a twin flame reading, and although we are talking about the divine masculine path and we have reconciliation, sure, this may be a reconciliation externally with your divine feminine, but more than that, way more importantly than that, masculines, you are coming into reconciliation with self. all of the parts of self that have held truth that you've pushed away, all the parts of self that had a dream or a mission or had divine wisdom to share with you that you've pushed away, you are calling back. You are calling back and coming into union. You are learning how to trust self, trust in the gifts and talents of all your internal parts. Very separate message here coming in around commitment. Sometimes, thank you, Spirit. If we have been operating under some sort of control template, like I said, could be from childhood trauma, could be cultural trauma, could be just relationship life trauma that you've picked up along the way, like most of us have, your view of commitment is somehow skewed, masculines. There's a call for a deeper reframing over what commitment is to a higher being like yourself, right? This isn't like Hollywood commitment. This isn't like, yeah, let's get married for 3 months and have this whirlwind romance and then show up in the tabloids and then it was all BS or it falls apart or whatever. This also isn't regular conventional commitment. Part of where the planet is going in this new Earth, age of Aquarius or split timeline, whatever your version of this is, part of this is being committed to self, right? Being committed to learning about self, to expanding and growing, and being committed to offering ourself a profound amount of grace, right? Because this being human thing is so crazy. It's just insane, right? Let's just honor that this is really crazy. We were all part of the quantum grid, and then all of a sudden we chose to sign up for Earth School. We won the lottery, we got a body, and now we're like suffering in all this separation and disconnection. So we are coming into relationship with commitment, masculines, in a new way. In a way that says we are safe, in a way that says I am sovereign and free. I think a lot of what masculines, I'm not here to tell you how you feel or put words in your mouth or your heart, but collectively, what I've been reading for a while now is that masculines have had a lot of fear with commitment, that this perception that being locked into something, is the antithesis of sovereignty and freedom. That somehow, if I'm committed to myself or an external partner, that it will, trap some part of myself, right? That's been the conventional archetype of commitment. There's been a lot of shadowy versions of commitment that have been running the show for a very long time. And really what happens with a higher commitment, with commitment to love, with commitment to learning, with commitment to growing, with commitment to providing presence and safety to self and other, really powerful, sacred things can grow here. And so masculines, you are on this journey of redefining commitment, or rather rediscovering sacred commitment, cosmic commitment. What does that actually mean? Sorry, I just needed a sip of my delicious cacao. I started drinking cacao as a coffee alternative. So far, so good. It's been a short amount of time, but yeah, it's less caffeine, still some caffeine, but gets me all fired up for these readings. Perfect amount. Okay, where do we go, Spirit? Where do we go? Oh, I forgot to even put this on camera. What's showing up in the unconscious position, masculines? Ooh, Freudian slip. Interesting. What's in the unconscious positions? What's showing up as being pushed into the shadows, masculines, is protection. Let's just say it out loud, because we're all here doing the same work, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to talk about the hard things out loud. It's okay to talk about our shortcomings, or what are we tripping over on our path over and over again. If we don't have the self-love within and the worthiness within, we'll never feel that daringness enough to be vulnerable and to understand that true vulnerability is power. True vulnerability, when you're daring to be vulnerable, it's like the next rung of the ladder magically appears, and all of a sudden we know which step to go towards. Never step away from vulnerability. Step towards it. Lean into it, because it holds profound wisdom for you, masculines. Okay, sorry, I got off topic there. So what's being pushed into the shadows is protection. Masculine, some of you might feel that you cannot take another step forward to either inner union or external union with your divine feminine, because you feel that you can't appropriately or properly protect them. Now, that's a very masculine thing, right? Masculine energy provides, protects, provides, and professes like love, right? Love in the form of support, abundance, whatever it is, presence, whatever it is. This makes total sense, that you don't trust yourself to take a step forward because you feel like you can't provide, that you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're trying to master your abundance so that you have something to offer your internal or external feminine. It makes sense to me why you're doubting yourself, why you don't feel like you can trust yourself, that you don't feel like you can trust your talents to actually pave the way for this road of abundance. It makes sense to me, masculines. Okay, we have a really, really great starting point. Let's see where we go. Let's build on this. Let us build on this. Sorry, my camera's shaking. I have a different setup today, so it's going to be a little wobbly while I shuffle. All right, let's go, Spirit. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for all of this wisdom that you're sharing, and compassion and empathy. Okay, the question, what should I ask? What should I ask? What would support masculines in trusting self? We have the violet, spirituality, wisdom, humility in reverse. Yeah, connection to source, right? Like, it makes total sense when we do not feel grounded in something greater than self, masculines. It makes sense why you're feeling wobbly. So you're being asked to ground, right? I'm looking at this financial health card with this beautiful windy tree. It almost looks like a bonsai tree, but the roots are deep, right? So you're being asked, where can you ground even deeper? What helps you ground? Because everyone's unique. Everyone has their own flavor, their own favorite flavor that works for them. And also, when's the last time you've grounded in some sort of spirituality? It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if it's rooted in a religious tradition or if it's rooted in just what makes you feel good. Some people see God when they're doing their greatest gift. Some people see God when they're roller skating, when they're walking through nature. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It just matters that you do it. So you're being asked to go home, to come home to source. Anything else? What else is blocking this trust in self? What else is, okay. We have dress rehearsal, alternative course, and choices. Yeah, I get that. Then we have in reverse, past life, gifts, and review. Yeah, masculines, at the end of the day, none of us are exempt from doing the work. So we are responsible for taking accountability for what's showing up on our side of the street, right? Because what's on our side of the street is the only thing that is in our control. We could witness someone else's side of the street. We could even offer to help, but we cannot go over to their side of the street and do the work for them. So, masculines, have you been avoiding reviewing something in your life? Maybe you took an alternative course and you made a choice that was not, maybe you made an unconventional choice and it has not worked out for you, and you're avoiding looking at what went wrong. Again, it behooves you to look at all of your actions, to look at why you made those actions. What were the underlying desires? What were the underlying parts, what were the unconscious operating systems that you were working under to make those choices? Wow, I'm getting such a specific message here. This is for not everyone, but some of you who have experienced this narrative. Masculines, when you meet your divine feminine, Yes, you go on the roller coaster of emotions. Yes, you might have very peak experiences. But really, what your divine counterpart is a mirror that's showing back to you all of these limitations, all of these blocks to love. So when you refuse to look at that and actually blame that as a reason not to look, it's an avoidance action, right? It's a by allowing yourself to be occupied by all these other things, by wealth, by social responsibility, by avoiding your animal instincts, by doing all these things, you're really operating under, sorry, thank you, Spirit. Spirit just interrupted me and told me to look at dress rehearsal. You're operating wearing a bunch of costumes, right? A bunch of different masks. And when you try to make decisions off of what you're viewing, when you are wearing masks, when you're wearing a full costume and you look in the mirror, you are making choices based off of the illusion of what you're looking at, right? You're looking in the mirror and you're seeing one thing, but you're forgetting that that's not your truth. You're forgetting that that is not your authentic reality. You're just in a dress rehearsal. You're just practicing a part. You're playing a role. So you're being asked to really review all of your choices. And there's no judgment, right? We can review and disagree with our past actions. We don't have to judge ourselves, right? We don't have to, sorry, I'm very aware. My left eye is twitching. Left eye is the feminine side, or left side of the body is the feminine side of the body. And masculine is there something you're not seeing? Is there something you're pushing into the shadows regarding your inner or outer feminine? This is a big message and a very conventional message. A lot of masculines have pushed away their external feminine's truth. Your experience with your feminine, it's time you look at it dead in the eye and take accountability for what you did and didn't do, for what you said and didn't say, for whatever your actions were. It's funny. This is like a deja vu moment. This message for masculines has come up a long time ago. Like, I'm guessing like 8 or 9 months ago. So what it's showing me is that you still haven't done it, masculine. So sorry, I don't mean to get all scoldy on you, but I asked the question, what's blocking their trust in themselves? If you're lying to yourself about the masks that you're wearing, of course you don't have faith in your gifts and talents. Of course you don't have faith in your ability to build financial wealth and abundance for you, your family, your feminine, your mission, your purpose. Of course. And what's really, I'm just going to put these two together. What's really fascinating, masculines, is that say you've worn a lot of costumes in your life. Say you've performed a lot of performances in your life. Every time you leave one performance and then go to the other, you are carrying the weight of all of those masks, all of those costumes with you. And that is a really heavy load to carry. It's like, I'm seeing this almost like this, and I'm seeing this person like banging their head against the sun, which is such an ironic thing, right? You're banging your head against illumination instead of just opening your eyes and seeing the truth, discovering and excavating your authentic truth, masculines. Listen, your entire life is on the other side of looking this thing in the eye and taking accountability for it. No, I'm going to keep going. I just looked down at the unconscious position. We had water. So yeah, it's like my rejuvenation card of allowing things to flow. And, by putting on these masks, you're creating blockages, you're creating disruption. What do we have? We have stairs, direction and timing, and we have problem solving and reverse resolution. Yeah. It's really scary to take accountability, masculines. I get that. It's really scary because once you see the problem, you are now responsible for the resolution. And that takes a lot of work and that takes a lot of courage. And maybe your life will completely turn upside down because of this new awareness that you have. But you have all of the puzzle pieces here to see a new image. Anything else, Spirit? Wait, hold on. Let's switch gears here, because I feel like we're getting sucked into the same message over and over again. So, Spirit, where do you want me to go with this? I'm leaning towards reconciliation. Can you say more about Thank you. We have daydream, imagination, allow your mind to wander, quiet time in reverse. Yeah, thank you, Spirit. I'm laughing because it's just a similar message. Masculines, you work so hard in all of these directions, except the one you're avoiding. And what is coming through me right now is that you work so hard and you don't get very far. And so it's like Spirit wants you to stop spinning your wheels, because when you look directly in the face of your vulnerability and actually give yourself enough, prioritize this work, prioritize the quiet time, prioritize allowing your imagination to just inquire, get curious about yourself, get curious about why do you do the things that you do, get curious about your actions, you will move further than all of these years. For some reason, 10 years is coming into my heart. And that's a lot. I get it. This is really hard work. But notice in the reconciliation card, we also have a beautiful full moon. Remember, the moon is symbol of illuminating the darkness, right? The mystery. What's been in the mystery? What are you pushing into the shadows? This really beautiful mirrored image here. And what is funny is that it actually looks like two feminine energies. I'm not here to judge, but for the sake of what I'm channeling right now, part of your reconciliation path, masculines, is going to be, okay, how do I say this, Spirit? Help me organize my thoughts. Okay, they want me to say it bluntly. You cannot heal and reconcile with your external feminine until you reconcile and heal with your internal feminine. This vulnerability has to do with your internal feminine, your soft heart that has a divine knowing, that has known this whole time, that has trusted her animal instincts, that understands what this commitment is, what it could be, what it's meant to be for the planet, masculines. It's up to you, right? We all have free will. You don't have to do any of this work. If you want to keep banging your head against the wall, if you want to keep working hard and do, wait for it, if you want to keep doing back-breaking work and carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, look at this person's, I think it's a masculine energy. Look at this person's leg muscles. Like, look, and their arm muscles, and they're screaming. Every part of this person's body is screaming in agony and pain because they're carrying a back-breaking weight. Again, you have free will, masculines, but you are on the journey of worthiness and self-love. You are worthy to live a life of ease and grace. And part of what's going to allow that idea to come into embodiment, to sink into your soul, is allowing your internal feminine, giving her the mic, right? Allowing your internal feminine to lead the show, to lead your direction without being in fear of what it's going to look like, of what it's going to, wow. I just got it felt like a waterfall of energy just flowed over my face and my shoulders and my chest. It's a lot. You're holding a lot. And this beautiful, sacred inner feminine, masculines, will wash away this in a second, in a millisecond, if you're open to it, if you're conscious of it, if you dare to bring your whole authentic self to the table. Beautiful. Okay, what would support the masculine spirit in embracing their inner feminine and allowing her to run the show? What do they need to heal? What are the blocks to this? What's going on? Okay, what do we have? We have unicorn, innocence, trust, honesty in reverse. Yeah, so somewhere along the way in your journey, you came into contact with an experience, a person, something that made you that vilified this feminine energy, that vilified innocence. Maybe you had someone take advantage of your innocence and your purity and your uniqueness. Maybe the world around you taught you that your unconventional truth is not safe or welcome to be here. You know what's really fascinating about this, masculines, is this is what the feminine energy has been confronting on the planet. This is not an accident that this is now what you're confronting. You know, so much of the feminine energy in all of our purity and all of our authenticity and infinite, pristine preciousness has been vilified. You know, there's been witch hunts and, colonization over that which is sacred, colonization over, indigenous intuitive practices and knowing, being one with the earth, being one with Mother Gaia. These properties that were so normal for us to be in total union with the natural living world around us has been vilified or deemed as like demonic or magic or something that has to be feared. But we are coming out of that, masculines. So it's not an accident that you are coming out of this. You are being called to reconnect with that childlike innocence, to trust, I'm going to cry, to trust in that divine preciousness, to allow that part of self to speak their truth, to live in that authenticity, to allow that authenticity to be the captain of the ship. Whoa. Wow. Okay. All right, masculines. God's calling your number has been picked. You're up to bat. I don't know how else you want to say it. Whoop, I'm dropping cards. Hold on. Okay, we have amethyst, psychic abilities, behavior patterns, and then we have premonition, prophecy in reverse. Okay, thank you. I love when spirit's so literal. It just cracks me up and makes me so happy. Okay, masculines, your psychic abilities, your divine gifts, your ability to look at the quantum grid and cherry pick the patterns that create powerful meaning in your life is directly related with your ability to use your gifts. I'm saying it wrong. Hold on. I missed a huge puzzle piece. I'm sorry. The part I missed was you continuing to push your inner feminine into the shadows is cauterizing your ability to access the quantum field, to access whatever your psychic discernment abilities are. You are meant to be, you are meant to follow these premonitions, whether you have dreams, whether you see colors or figures or whatever flavor of your psychic abilities are, you are meant to trust them, to build upon them as if they were a brick and mortar foundation. It makes sense that when you don't believe your internal feminine and your internal gifts, it makes sense why you would discredit external feminines. It makes sense why you've maybe run away from your external feminine. And yes, that has probably caused your external feminine a profound amount of pain, but that's like secondary. What's primary here is that it's caused your internal feminine a profound amount of pain. And so you're operating in the world. No wonder why you might not trust commitment, because you haven't healed the commitment to your inner half, your inner other half. Right? You have been operating, on half a tank of gas for your entire life. It's time to reclaim that other side of self so that you can operate on a full tank of gas. And when you have a full tank of gas, you can go further, you can go deeper, you can go wider, you're expanded, you can hold more for yourself and the collective. You can hold more for mission and purpose. You can hold more duality, right? When you can hold more, when your container expands, you quite literally, it's like your stage becomes bigger. Sorry, I'll talk about that in a second. I just wanted to keep going. When your stage becomes bigger, you can hold more experience, right? The grand play of life gets to play out, but you could have more characters. You could have more scenarios happen. You can alchemize more, right? The whole part of this, a big chunk of this twin flame hierogamy path is learning to step into the union of, wow, I'm sorry. My brain just scrambled these words. Hold on. You can step into the alchemical union of opposites, right? This is being able to hold dualistic experiences and non-dualistic, duality and non-duality, right? The feeling of being one with all that is, and the feeling of honoring the separation. And that's a lot of pain, right? We need to be able to have a really big heart to hold the pain of separation, to acknowledge it as we live and breathe every day. It takes a very strong person to be able to hold that pain and honor it, look it in the eye and say, hey, yeah, I see you. It's hard to be in separation when oneness feels so good. It's really difficult. And yet I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be a spiritual being in a human body, and we're going to work this out. We're going to figure this out. We're going to learn as we go. We're going to build. We're going to build. We're going to build. We're going to take actions that build our deepest desires and also our deepest soul mission, whatever that is for you, masculines. Like, you have so much on the other side of embracing your internal feminine. Okay, and then what's being pushed into the shadows here, we have this second chakra, the sacral, so your creativity, your sensuality. Okay, whoa, hold on. Separate message coming in. Okay, they're showing me a visual. You know when like a fire starts to go out and then all that's left are these like golden, fiery embers? When you have been operating just on your masculine template, it's like you've been stuck in the burning embers. It's like you haven't yet been able to create a flame, a spark. Nothing has ignited yet because you are just continuing to stoke half of who you are. You're stuck in this ember stage. When you bring your internal feminine into your awareness, into your consciousness, embrace her, love her, trust in her gifts, that's when the spark will ignite. That's when you will be able to like blaze a new trail. Cool message. Very cool message, Spirit. All right. Do we leave it there? I don't want to. And we're like, this. Okay, let's just get a couple more. Where do we go, Spirit? Okay, thank you. Anything else you want to say to the masculines? Whoa, that's half the deck. That's too many. Okay, thank you. We have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. Okay, when you continue to push your internal feminine parts into the shadow, you are missing out on all of this divine gnosis. You are a priestess, you are a mystic, you are a teacher. You are allowed to celebrate beauty in the world and be devoted to that. You know, for a lot of masculines on the planet, they look at what the feminine values and have discredited it. Is that right? That sounds so wrong. They have discredited the divine feminines. They, because how they approach life is not how the masculine approaches life, and they don't value it. If they can't understand it, then it must not be worthy, right? That's the patriarchal influences and templates that we have been working under. You're meant to throw it out, masculines, because you have to understand that abandoning external feminine energy or feminine energy in general, you're abandoning yourself. This is the mechanism of oneness. You can't escape the other because there is no other. You are them. They are you. For those of you who have known me personally, professionally, I am a oneness initiate. I've been this way since I was a little kid. It was heartbreaking to watch people live outside of oneness. I didn't understand it. I'd be crying all the time because of there's all this profound love and there's all this pain in the world. And what are we doing with each other? You're bombing them, but you're bombing us. What are you doing? There's all of this horror and ridiculousness. Masculines, if you want to change your situation, if you want to put down the weight of the world, it's time you embrace your inner feminine. Beautiful, beautiful message. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Whew. That one got me. I get all fired up at these things. This is my life. This is my whole entire life. Okay, here we go. What do we got? I can't even read upside down. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. You know, another part of, another gift of the inner feminine is that feminines let people hold them. Divine feminines ask for help. They delegate. They ask for connection when they're in a hard time. They share their truth vulnerably. They allow themselves to be held by other people, by the collective, by the energies, by the quantum field. Masculines, you are worthy to be held. You can rest. You don't have to continue to bang your head against the wall to try to make something happen. You are not evaluated on what you've built in this life. You are rather evaluated on your level of presence and your level of loving awareness. That is it. Trust that. Take action on that. Shift your they're showing me like goals. It's like you're shifting out of a mindset where you have to accomplish all these goals to be worthy. You are shifting from a mindset where you feel unworthy and you think you have to work yourself into the ground to earn your keep on this planet, where really to earn your keep, it's not even earning your keep because we're all inherently worthy. It's about showing up and being part of the love. Can you choose to weave love in this really disconnected, crazy planet? Can you make a choice in the face of adversity to trust and love and trust in vulnerability? You are reshaping your relationship with power. You are reclaiming the soft. You are reclaiming the gentle warrior. Beautiful. Yeah, what's being pushed into the shadows, masculines, is the age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Claim it. You've been training to be this warrior of the light your entire soul lifetime, not your human life, your soul's lifetime. You've chosen to incarnate God knows how many times. You continue to do this work. You continue to peel back the layers. You are doing everything correct. Dare to take another step towards love, towards light. Beautiful. Let's get a divine feminine Buddha wisdom card. Seems appropriate. Anything else, Spirit? What would you like to end? What little drop of wisdom would you like to gift our divine masculines here? Wow, we're getting a lot of flippers. There we go. It says, don't let worldly temptations lead you astray. Yeah, masculines, if this was a conventional masculine reading, I would say this is a very physical, sensual, sexual card, meaning don't let, bright, shiny objects capture your attention. But in the context of this reading, don't let worldly temptations lead you astray, meaning don't let this patriarchal false narrative of what a masculine is or is not lead you off of your path, lead you away from your inner feminine power. Your feminine, the discovery and reclamation of your inner feminine is going to birth a balance, equal energy on the planet. You are leveling the playing field when you do this, masculines. And feminines have been doing this forever by daring to show up as their true selves, by taking accountability for their trauma, even if other, false masculines have created that trauma in their life. That's their journey, right? That's the feminine flow. We're learning to overcome these things and reclaim power, reclaim softness, reclaim our divine beauty, our sensual selves, understanding that our sensual, sexual eros, our life, our divine, sacred life force, it holds so much intuition and wisdom that helps us guide. What are we attracted to? What juices us up? That's how we make decisions, masculines. That's how the feminine does it. You are being called to reclaim the safety and the sanctity of this divine feminine path. I don't want to make a prediction because, now I'm not channeling. Now this is Karen just thinking and talking to you. I have a hunch. I have a feeling, masculines, that when you explore the full capacity of your internal feminine energy, when you fall in love with your inner feminine, when you embrace her, when you put her on a equal throne as yourself, your external feminine, your divine counterpart that you've been dying for, that you've been waiting for, that you've been hoping and praying for, will flow into your life in such an equal, equitable, magic way. Your divine feminine will be magnetized, right? Like attracts like. When you can ignite your inner feminine within you, your external feminine will be the missing puzzle piece. You will come into union with this love. You will do this work on the planet. You will step into soul mission and purpose. Right? I just want to recalibrate that for some of you. A lot of what this is, a lot of the twin flame path it's okay, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself because now I'm getting fired up. Spirit, I ground in you. Thank you for being with us right now. It's a misconception that the end goal of a twin flame path is just union, is to be in a partnership. That is like step one of a whole other journey, masculines and feminines, whoever's watching here. When you come into union with your person and you both are balanced and you both have enough grace in your bank account to confront the difficult things with love, with empathy, with compassion, and take another step forward, when you allow the safety to anchor, when you understand that you both have the best intention and the highest and best possible interpretation of the other one, then the real work comes in. Sorry, I don't want to say I don't want to negate all of the powerful work you've done or you've been doing, but the divine work comes in. And then your relationship becomes a supercharged powerhouse of this divine core love frequency, this unity consciousness, and you become like a transmitter tower, anchoring deep in the earth, anchoring this frequency. And anyone who comes in your orbit, their frequency will be affected. It will be shifted. It will be changed. But it starts with you alone by yourself, right? You can only be accountable for what's showing up on your side of the street, and your feminines can only be accountable for what's showing up on their side of the street. When you come together and you've both cleaned up your side of the street and developed enough tools and skills to be able to navigate the potentials of what may or may not happen, what may or may not be coming down the road, you become this united force field that anything that approaches you cannot penetrate. Anything that is not love cannot penetrate. You now have enough power and authenticity and divine loving awareness to adjust the frequency of other people, places, and things. You can adjust the frequency of land, of historical pain that has been trapped in the land, in lineages, in people, in places. I keep saying it over and over again because they're just showing me, you should see the visuals. I don't know if I could explain it, but it's like you have the power when you come into this union. You have the power to supercharge Christ consciousness. That's not a small thing. Do you understand how profound of a technique that is, or a tool to have in your toolbox? We don't know what's on the other side of this, of living like this. What if that's an interesting thought. Thank you, Spirit. What if we reach a critical mass of unions on the planet? What would that look like? They're showing me a seesaw, and it's like, what if divine unions, have more weight in the world? What would that level of love and beauty do to this planet? What would it do? I'm not going to answer that for you. I'm just going to leave that open-ended question out there. Okay, I'm done ranting. Sending you all so much love. Masculines, you got this. Dare to look in the face of vulnerability. You got this. Much love to you all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening to me and all my musings and rantings and my passion. I'm going to cry now. This path is everything to me. It's just what I am. And It's been a long road, and I understand intimately the pain of walking an unconventional path. It's very difficult. It's deeply painful. And yet we're all doing it. And so please, please, please give yourself credit. Take a moment to pat yourself on the back. You are doing the hardest work that exists. This work of alchemy and transmuting on the planet. It's so painful. You quite literally are sacrificing yourselves, your mind, body, spirit, to do this work because you know what's on the other side of it. And I commend you. Please, please celebrate yourself today. Thank you for being here. Sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next one.